Hey,
Hello.
how are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
Gavin, I presume?
Yes,
Nice
of
to
course.
meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Are you just finishing work, Gavin?
I am. I'm coming back from Home Depot, but my bus got pushed back, so I didn't want to wait an hour and a half for my
That's how long it
bus
is.
to just barely get home.
Is
so.
that just the weekend schedule?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
with COVID and everything, sadly.
Okay. So that's where I come in.
Yes, exactly.
I'm happy to accommodate you, man.
How's your day going so far?
It's a slower day.
That's fair.
How was work for you?
It was good. We had a guy murdered outside of our store today. So.
That's not an everyday occurrence.
No, I walked out of my store and there's two cops sitting there with a dead guy thrown in our ditch. So.
Really? So was it like an active event that just had happened? Or?
Yeah, it had just happened right before I ended my shift and walked out.
This is over at like Chinook Mall area.
Yeah, Chinook Home Depot, right? He was right in the loading bay for the Petland.
In the back there.
Yeah, in the back.
Oh man.
So kind of sucky, but
no way.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, or it doesn't happen so often.
No, it doesn't happen so often, but
oh man.
you know.
Did it make you like really like thoughtful about your existence and life in general and stuff?
A little, you know. It makes you definitely value your life a little bit more, knowing that I was 5 minutes away from
something like that happened.
Yeah. So.
There's a tattoo shop that I'm a big fan of here in the city called Hemlock Tattoo, run by girls who used to be I did never realize that was an abusive sort of industry.
Yeah.
So they kind of banded it together as women who said, let's go into business together and set some policies of safety and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And one of the reason I mention them is one of the things that they put on my radar is bystander intervention training. I've never heard of it, but I Googled it. Bystander intervention training is to help people know options of how to respond to things that are going on.
It's always that mentality of someone else is going to deal with it. Someone else is going to.
And I have no idea what I could do, or you know, I'm going to keep myself safe and out of the fray, kind of thing, right? And so, and I mean, I was watching some TikToks. I think earlier. Actually, it was this. I thought it was funny. My sister did not think so. So this probably shows how crass my humor is. But it's the level where it was a prank where this guy's walking along, and he has it choreographed where someone plays an audio of a shotgun that goes off, and he like acts as if he got shot and hit. He does this in a public place, and just to see everyone's reaction, and they all just take off running, right? This one guy even jumped over a bridge into the water, kind of thing, you know, kind of thing. But again, that element of how do we prepare for these things that we necessarily don't see or experience in an ongoing way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it definitely makes you think. What's that? I can't remember. It's a show on Netflix. Hold on here. Let me see if I can quickly find it.
Okay.
It's essentially goes through an experiment done around the same thing. I don't know. It's called. Have you ever seen The Push?
No.
On Netflix. So it's a whole setup to see how far you can push a bystander without them really realizing what they've done.
Oh, I see.
And essentially what they did was they tested 30 people in this whole setup charity event where the charity event organizer dies, and then they slowly lead them up to hiding the body and then pretending that they're the charity organizer, and then they lead it on that he actually didn't die, and it eventually escalates to see if they can get these people to what they do is believe they've killed someone, like push them off and murder them off the edge of a building, and it just really goes through the.
It's like a social experiment.
Yeah, it's a big social experiment. It goes through the. What's it called? How peer pressure and how everything can affect the way someone thinks in these situations, to get them to completely snap and change the way of thinking, and to see how far you can push someone to do something they wouldn't normally do.
Especially when most people think that they're in control, when in reality we're just really susceptible to how much we've been able to think through our own personal boundaries and implementing those. Yeah.
Well, regardless of what we all think, we're only limited by how we've been raised and what we've been taught is right and wrong. And
intriguing. Yeah, and the tough thing, I mean, like my friends tell me I have a social experiment ongoing in my car all the time because I post a lot of my content with my riders on my with consent, of course.
Of course,
I would do it without your consent. But they say, Benny, you just have a social experiment going on. And in some sense, it seems like I do, but I like making sure that those that I am enlisting for showing on my platform at least have awareness.
Yes.
And most definitely, I ensure consent, right?
Of course,
enthusiastic consent that way. But there's something to be said about those. Like, I've watched so many TikToks, for example, where a lot of these individuals never were given that chance. So a lot of it is based on humor at others' expense, right? So maybe like a guy, I love watching these ones, a guy who's dressed up in as a bush, and then he jumps out at people, and they're like, kind of thing, and he just captures the raw expression of fear and responds that way. And I mean, it seems funny, but it's almost, it does account for the fact that a lot of these individuals never did give consent to be exposed in a vulnerable way that way. It's a vulnerable thing.
Well, that's very vulnerable, like, even if it's for a split second, that's a very vulnerable state that you put someone in when you're doing something like that.
Yes. So it sure begs a lot of those conversations. Yeah.
So is this what you do for a living then? You just drive Uber right now?
I'm an Uberologist.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
This is my main gig.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I do enjoy it immensely. I do. I kind of enjoy hanging out with people and I especially practicing and modeling what good connection could look like.
Yes.
Not to say that I'm a pro at it, but I do pretty well at it. And I like inspiring others towards that end, saying, here's what could be,
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my investments. Speaking of which, let me ask you in the same way too. Before I do ask you, Gavin, please feel free to say no, because that's also just as legitimate. Like the videos that I post are online, and again, it's for that purpose that I was mentioning earlier. Are you a private person who values this privacy?
Not at all, to be completely honest.
Not at all. Okay.
I don't know. I like to be able to be open with people and have people learn from what I've experienced and what I've done, rather than to just kind of keep everything to myself.
Very cool. I think I'm likewise inclined. Well, if you're a hell yes, do you mind signing off on a consent form for me?
I'm down, sure.
Okay. Here, have a quick look at that. It's a consent form of sorts. I don't like presuming.
Yep.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. I'll leave you my card as well, so you can follow up and see the kind of thing that I do.
Sounds good. I would actually really like that.
Cool. I've never been down this way before.
Yes. I initially moved up here to live with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
We ended up splitting up, but the neighborhood was so nice I just moved into another place.
Area. Nice. Oh wait, I have been in this area, but I just came from a different angle. Oh, that's funny. I just came from a different direction. That's why I don't recognize it. Favorite way to unwind, especially after a day like today? What would that look like for you?
Do you know what VR is, virtual reality?
Yep.
Have you ever played VR chat?
I have never done it yet.
I am a VR chat dancer.
Oh, no way.
So
is this like Wii where you actually are moving actively?
Yes.
Or it is?
Here, I can show you some of my content.
Sweet. That would be amazing. Never heard of that.
657 facts. I do not know my facts, but I will
That's okay. Today's the kind of day to be indoors under a nice blanket. Cozy.
Okay, what's the date today?
I believe it's the 10th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the 10th.
2021. Parent signature, I am 18. Don't need All right, there you go.
Thanks, man.
Oh, and there's your
I
pen.
appreciate that, Gavin. Thank you.
Here, I'll show you what I do. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. My handle's on the back there.
Sounds good. Here, let me just do this. So, I work for a VR chat club.
Okay.
So that I'm essentially what you would call male entertainment in VR chat.
Yeah.
But I've got full body trackers. I've got a full massive play space that I do.
Yeah.
And then I practice with a group of people. It's just a very supportive community that we all are part of. So there's probably 6 or 7 dancers in total.
Yeah.
That all do this every other night.
So this is the VR part.
Yes.
But you've got trackers, like, is it like a suit that you wear? And...
Yeah, so I've got what are essentially 3 trackers. I have one strapped to my waist, one strapped to each leg.
Yeah.
I've got controllers on my hands and my headset on.
Yeah.
So,
and goggles, I'm guessing?
Yes. So I can't see anything while I'm doing this other than what's in my VR world. So that's the club I work for. I'm really good friends with the creator. She actually created it to
that's amazing.
To accommodate me and a few other dancers that couldn't find any other places to dance.
Yeah.
So every other weekend, or as of right now, every other weekend because I'm working, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I used to be on every night, but I teach people. I do all that. And
yeah. I mean, this is on TikTok.
Yes, this is on TikTok.
I'm gonna see if I can follow you here. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Guaca. Can I tell my audience?
Yeah, go for it.
So, guys, follow Gavin. It's GuaCachipGavii. So that's Guaca.